It's time for you to put everything that you've learned in this course so far to the test. I have another 15-second commercial for Ninja Gear, and it's going to be in the exact same style as my own spot, but I need you to create the boards for me. I don't have the bandwidth to be able to do both of them at once, so I'm going to hand this off to you. Now, you have a lot of very similar assets as I do, so let's just walk through them right now. Right here we have the script. So we have the description of the company again, but right here you're going to be doing a script on a grappling hook. So the script goes, a grappling hook can reach 30 feet and support over 800 pounds. So yeah, it can get you up on your roof. Ladders are for chumps. Clean your gutters with style. Ninja Gear, because why should ninjas have all the fun? So there's your script. You've got the same end card that I do. And then we have a storyboard. So let's take a look at this. So we see a grappling hook can reach 30 feet, and over that we're going to see a grappling hook fly across the screen. There we go. Cool. And then the text 30 feet appears. And then we've got 30 feet and support over 800 pounds. So this says that a large animal is attached to the rope. Now, I talked to the agency, and what they're basically saying is they drew in an elephant here, but they're leaving it up to you as to what type of animal you want to put in the hoist. So you're going to have some options in your stock photos. We'll get to that in a second. But for now, it's an elephant. So it can support over 800 pounds. The rope hoists up the animal 800 pounds on screen. And then we have a close-up of the animal sitting. So yeah, it can get you up on the roof. Camera zooms out to show that the animal is on the rooftop of this house. Grappling hook flies in from the left, hooks onto the right side of the frame, and then pulls the frame back as a transition. So it's kind of like pulling the frame across. So there's a transition frame built in already to the storyboard. And then we've got a bunch of ladders in a burning heap. Ladders are for chumps. Clean your gutters in style. So a garden glove fist grasping dead leaves. Ninja Gear, because why should ninjas have all the fun, with the end card. And then we have the grappling hook flying across the logo, and it looks like some leaves flying through the air as well. So lots of grappling hooks flying around in this spot. But that is what you're going to be working with. Let's take a look at the animatic to see how it actually looks with all the timing and the pacing.
A grappling hook can reach 30 feet and support over 800 pounds. So yeah, it can get you up on the roof. Ladders are for chumps. Clean your gutters with style. Ninja Gear, because why should ninjas have all the fun?
Very nice. Okay, so you're going to get all of these files. You can watch through that more if you'd like. But let's take a look at what else we have. There's also an images folder, and in there we have a renders folder with some grappling hooks. So if we take a look at these, it's a bunch of 3D renders of grappling hooks. So just like in my spot where the katana is splitting the bullet, that being 3D, this grappling hook is going to be a 3D model. But you'll notice there is no rope on this, so you're going to be responsible for attaching the rope to this grappling hook. But they gave you lots of angles on this grappling hook, so you should be able to cover all of your bases on any frames that you need to design with these renders, and then just attach your own rope to it in Photoshop. All right, then let's take a look at the stock folder. I've gone ahead and sorted this for you just to make it a little bit easier because there are a lot. So under animals, we have 3 different types of animals, or 4 different types of animals actually. We've got elephant, just like in the storyboard. We've got hippopotamus, we've got a bear, and then we've got a gorilla. So you can have fun with this. I'm going to trust you with this, so just choose the animal that you're going to have the most fun with and that you think is going to fit best with this, but you get to choose which animal you want there. You've got some gloves, and they're holding something, or I guess this one's a thumbs up, this one's holding a screwdriver. You're going to need to take that out, obviously, and put in the fist grasping leaves, so you're going to have to do a little bit of Photoshop work there. We've got houses to pick from, so you can look through these. Choose one of the houses that you want to work with, and this one even looks like it's a clay house. It's not even real, but that might be a fun little direction to go in. Then we've got a whole bunch of ladders for our little ladder bonfire, and for this piece, you'll notice that there aren't any flame folders. I didn't put any flames in here because I don't want you to use real photo flames. It's very difficult to make that look good for lack of a better term, when you're using actual flames on top of other photos. With the blending modes, it's just not very easy to make look realistic, and I think we want to make this a little bit more playful, not so realistic, a little more stylized. So actually at this stage, don't even worry about the flames. Just set up your ladders in a pile, and don't even bother with the flames yet. We'll take care of that in the next exercise. So there's your ladders. You've got a whole bunch of leaves, so you can pick through all of these and choose the ones you want for any of the leaves in the storyboard. We've got a couple of lengths of rope and some knots. Some of them are colored, some not, so you're going to have to decide how you want to use those, if you want to use any or all of them. This one might be a really good option for using the Puppet Warp tool to get it to fit whatever shape you need it to be, like these frames right here where it's kind of wavy. Since it's so straight, you can use the Puppet Warp tool and just put all those pins in there and warp it however you need to. You could also make it longer probably pretty easily, just tiling it to make it fit whatever length that you need it to be for the screen. But you can also, play around with the other ones as well. Maybe you can use this knot, turn it black, and put that on the end where it ties to the hoist or where it ties to the actual grappling hook. And then you have the same textures that I have access to, which I haven't touched yet, but I will in the next lesson. So there are all of the stock photos, all of the renders, everything that you're given. And because this is for the same brand, it's the same length, it's for the same ad campaign, this needs to look pretty identical to mine, at least in terms of the style. So I'm going to give you the actual colors, which you can find in the branding folder right here. I made a PSD with vector layers, so those colors are exactly the ones that I'm using. And you should treat the text the same way as I was as well. Remember, that font that I used is called Briller. It's available on Typekit, and I used the bold and ultra versions of that font, those two different weights. And remember, you don't have to do all of these frames because not all of them need unique assets. So we're going to need one frame from these first three, probably just this third one right here where it says 30 feet. With that grappling hook all the way across the screen. You can see it up in the top corner. That way we can see the entire length of that rope with the grappling hook and the text 30 feet. Probably don't need this frame of the animal on the ground. Instead, let's focus on this one where it's being hoisted up with the text next to it. And then maybe do both of these frames, since it's really just taking this composition and pushing in on it on this frame. You're starting close and then going wide. So that's an easy frame to duplicate and just resize to fit the storyboard's layout. We've got this transition of the grappling hook going across the screen and pulling it across, so maybe just do this one right here where the frame is literally being pushed off to the side and the grappling hook is right there overlaid on top of the bonfire. And since you're going to have to make that bonfire of ladders in the background for this frame, go ahead and include that on the next frame as well. Let's see that fist holding the leaves, and then the end card on its own. And then let's do this frame right here so we can see the grappling hook going across the logo and those leaves flying through the air. And I'm even going to highlight these frames for you so you know exactly which ones to do. So there you go. You've got all of these. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 frames just like I did. And remember that this storyboard is loose. You do not need to follow this as if it was a composition layout to a T. Use your creative judgment if you feel like this text might be a little bit too big and taking up too much of the frame. You don't have to stick 100% to what you're seeing in this storyboard. The important thing is that you're using the same colors, the same type treatments as me, and that you're cutting out these photos and laying them out in a similar way. Otherwise, you can get creative and play around with the composition, the framing, and see what you can come up with. So let's recap the entire assignment. You're going to be creating 9 total boards for this spot, and they're going to be not completely finished because we haven't even gotten into the finishing stages of my own piece, but you need to get the basic layout and composition of all of these frames there. Put in those colored backgrounds, set the type in the same way that I do, and make sure that everything is feeling pretty nice and laid out, balanced, and working well within each frame. Once you've got all of those compositions laid out and you're happy with the way that everything has been cut out in Photoshop, you took out all those backgrounds and you combined certain elements. Once you're happy with all of that, you can export all 9 of those frames as JPEGs and upload them to the Homework Locker. But don't forget to include your source files, your PSD, along with that so that your TA can actually look through your file and give you some good feedback. All right, that's all there is for this. I know it's a big assignment, but you've learned everything you need to know in order to complete this assignment. So don't worry about it. Just make sure that you're thinking about the things that you've learned and work in a way that's non-destructive, work in an organized fashion so that you don't get lost with all of these layers, and so that we can finish this off in the final assignment and really be proud of what you've made. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. Good luck.